Hi, I'm Karen Gibbs, Creative Director of Banyan Batiks by Northcott, and we're going through the winter release of 2022. This one is a Color Me Banyan Houndstooth Plaid. It delivers August 2022. What is a Color Me Banyan? It's basically a technique that we came up with on a play date in Indonesia, or with my team of artisans in Indonesia. And it's challenging the way batiks are made, right? It's taking them and maybe changing things up just a little bit, whether it be color application, chop application, using bleach in a different way, something, and that we want to showcase to you. And they all work wonderfully on a batik wall because they're one of those pieces that your eye just gravitates towards. You grab them and then you try and work with other batiks that are on the batik wall to blend in with them. You can see around me we have the Color Me Banyan Houndstooth Plaid, but we also have a lot of the essentials, because the essentials work wonderfully. They complement this particular group just wonderfully well. All right, there isn't a whole bunch of different designs in these kind of collections, in the Color Me Banyan collections, because we are focused on a technique or a certain print, right, or certain design. For this particular one, my thought process was, how am I going to do a plaid? Because we know plaids are very popular with Banyan. We've done a lot of different kinds of plaids, and they do phenomenally well. I wanted to do a plaid that was non-directional. Or you could use it in a non-directional way, right? In a triangle or something like that. And you can see in the piece that I did here, I used one of Scott Flanagan's patterns and I tried piecing it, and how does it work? And that's what I really try and do with a lot of collections or a lot of prints that may be slightly different than what we're used to in a batik. How would I use it as a quilter? All right, so the Houndstooth Plaid, my goal was, I want to do a plaid that can look like a plaid, that is recognizable as a plaid, but then again, it's not going to be directional when you go to cut it up. All right, the color application was very important with this as well, because it's a large, kind of chunky print, right? It's a larger print. I wanted the colors to transition in larger ways. So I went back to the traditional way of applying color, which is the bigger balls or the bigger areas of one particular color. So you can see here all the different color transitions that are in there with the purples and all of that. It's wonderful to drape these, the Color Me Banyan, because they make such a great impact. All right, I've also paired them up on this table with our hand-painted stripes, the brush strokes. You can see the brush strokes here, because again, the color transition is a bigger color transition, so they just make wonderful impacts. Another thing with this, how did I do the kind of three-dimensional look with it, right? I did a double chop application, all right? So the little squiggle of white right there is kind of the highlight. So it kind of gives, if you think of a woven Houndstooth plaid, it has highs and lows in it, right? So I wanted to make it look like it was three-dimensional. So if you look at these, we've got many different colors in these. And this one, I love it. It's got the earthy kind of purples and greens and blues and grays. We've got the purple tones with fuchsia. And then, of course, I wanted to address softer colors, pastel kind of colors. And we've got two of those in here. The red and black are always a classic. Get some greens in there. Some earthy tones right here, and I pieced this one right here into a block, okay? Can you see where the piecing is in that particular block? You can't. Right here is a small triangle. Right here is a small triangle, and then this is a bigger square. Isn't that interesting how you cannot see it? Like I said, it's a geometric, but it cuts up and doesn't have a direction, so to speak. So we've got some wine colors, and then of course the classic bright blue, the purples and the blue, the turquoises, a touch of green leaning towards a touch of green in there, and then more the citrus green with a touch of the blue. You can see here it works wonderfully with the shadows, all right, and as I mentioned, the brush strokes. Now in the lookbook, fantastic projects in the lookbook. These projects are just so inspirational to me as a quilter. It makes me want to go and grab my fabrics and my sample yardage here and piece them up. I love them. Lots of different projects, many different projects, from 9 SKUs all the way up to like 24 SKUs, depending on what you're looking to bring in with the Houndstooth. I love these different ones. You've got a table runner here, kind of a curved pasting. You've got a traditional look right here by Bound to Be Quilting. I think that's just a fantastic use of the Houndstooth plaid. This one here is wonderful. It uses all of them, and then it ties in the brush strokes. Like I said, it works wonderfully with the brush strokes. If you look previously in the catalog under brush strokes, there is a quilt in there by Quilting Renditions that has the Houndstooth and the brush strokes paired. In the back of the lookbook are the charts, and it shows different colorways. We've got a couple others right here. This one is actually the project that I did the block of. You can see it right there. There's different colorways, like I said, in the chart section of the back of the book there. All right, so this is a Color Me Banyan, and it delivers August 2022.